Hi there everybody, it's Verity here from inkybutterfly.com. Thank you so much for joining me again today for another card making video, and it's Happy New Catalogue Day for Stampin' Up. So this May-August catalogue is live now, so you can get your hands on some wonderful new stuff, including our new in colours. Okay, so there's 5 new in colours that are released every year. Okay, catalogues all available, and you can see them digitally on the website. Just hop along to the links in the description for that. So these are the colours that have been added to our collection. So we said goodbye to Petunia Pot, Peach Pie, Pretty in Pink, Summer Splash and Shy Shamrock, and we now have these guys. Okay, so we have Barely Blush, Crisp Cantaloupe. That's a colour that has actually returned, so that was in colour about 11 years ago. We've got Golden Glow, gonna like that one, I think. Has a bit of a wild wheat-esque to it. Hydrangea Hue, beautiful sort of purpley blue colour, and we have Peaceful Pine. Okay, so this is what the look at the ink pads again in a second, but this is the cardstock there. So we've got cardstock, we've got the Boutique Blooms, something like that. Bloom Boutique Sweet has got a set of paper, 12 by 12 two-tone cardstock. There's also pearlized paper, markers, ribbon, you know, the lot, all available in these 5 colours. And of course we've now got these new ink pads. So these are a magnetic based ink pad, and they cling together, so they sort of stack up, not super strong, but they will stay together. Okay, so obviously we're going to be working with a single colour today, and we're going to be working with Barely Blush today. So these will sit nicely on your desk. They do fit into the Stampin' storage ink pad holders as well. They just stick out a little bit further, and they are a little narrower than the standard ink pads. So if I just grab another here, you can see quite a bit shorter and just a teensy bit narrower, okay, than the other ink pads. And instead of having to open and slide, which some people find this difficult, I always leave it sticking out so I can grip it. Okay, but if you've got any kind of dexterity issue, they can be a little bit tricky, especially when they're brand new. They're a bit tough to open, but these have this magnetic lid. Okay, so it will come apart entirely now. Okay, the pad is still in the sort of lid, if you like, so it will always be stored with the ink coming down, so the ink pad stays nice and fresh, and the ink remains at the top. And the material is now a sort of felt or linen or something. It's not foam anymore. Okay, so slightly different style with these magnetic lids. So of course you can just move that around, do what you need to do with it, but what I sort of do is I still sort of flip it over, have it underneath, and then I'm not going to lose my, technically it's the base, but yeah. Okay, you can still do water techniques as well. So if you wanted to squeeze the ink pad, and you can make this nice little whirl in the top if you want to. I don't like doing that. I prefer to use something else and keep that clean. And as for as with the classic pads, you do have labels that you can pop on the side there. So I've got one on the front so I can see it in my storage, and then I've got one here so I know what colour I'm working with when it's out on the desk. Okay, so let's just pop that way just for a sec. So we're going to work with Barely Blush today, and we're going to make a version of this card. So we'll bring in some new product, which I haven't got next to me, which is silly. Okay, so Butterflies. I have a great butterfly set. So this is called All Aflutter. Okay. So obviously I love butterflies, hence my my stamping name. And this comes with a coordinating punch. So that's really nice to be able to get those out all in one outline image that you can colour with stamps, or you can use this sort of more detailed one. And we've got a couple of great sentiments on there too. The sentiment is going to come from this set called Scalloped Blooms. Okay, nice set of sentiments there for lots of occasions, and this coordinates with Scalloped Blooms dies. How gorgeous are they, right? And so obviously got these great wonderful scallop circles. There's a square, there's these little sort of leaves as well. Okay, really, really cool. But look at the size of them. Look at how big these are. So that is humongous. Okay, so if you think this is a standard card width of 4 1/8, that's large, right? Okay, it's got to be like 5 inches wide. It'll say in the catalogue how big it is. The largest die size, yeah, just a shy of 5 inches across. That is huge. And then all these other things, and you can see that some have got a plain edge and some have got like a pierced edge. Super cool. And you can see how they nest together. Isn't that great? Those circles are cute as they are. You've got some little fussy bits, so they're going to be really useful with all sorts of things. Okay, and then of course we've got stylish shapes in the back there. I don't seem to be able to get away with get a card out without using stylish shapes in some way or shape or form. This sample is Highland Heather, in case you're wondering. But we're working with Barely Blush, so this is the cardstock that we have here. So just half sheet of A4 with a to create a top folding card. Okay, and already done a little bit of the prep work just so that we're focusing on some of the other bits and pieces. So this is the two-tone cardstock, light side and the dark side, and that's how it compares with the cardstock. Okay, so some of the two-tone papers are closer matches to the cardstock than others, but all good, all nice to work with. Okay, so I'm just making a layer on there with some white willow, and then we'll also have our smaller layer, which is actually with this pearl paper, which has just a different, it's not textured but it looks textured because of that pearl finish. Isn't that nice? Very nice. Okay, so I've got all our layers cut. I've already cut my stylish shape, and I've just dropped my sentiment somewhere. Where did it go? There it is, got it. And I've already stamped the sentiment in black ink and cut it with one of those scalloped dies. So got some bits and pieces going. Okay, but what I am going to do is I'm going to use this piece to cut my scallop from. Okay, but I want to make sure it's hidden underneath this layer, so we are going to do some sticking. The pearl paper is the same both sides as well, just in case you're wondering. Okay, so stamping seal on this, and we'll layer it up. So using my little teeny tiny borders on here, I like to just use layers that are only 1/8 of an inch difference, which means you get this nice skinny 1/16 of an inch border on here. Okay, and I'm just going to line this die on here. just stick it down with a little bit of low tack tape, and I'm just going to check that that is going to be covered. Yep, it is. Okay, so this is how you can kind of get more out of your cardstock, right? So you know, everything's so expensive now. We want to make our products stretch, get as much out of them as possible, and no one's going to see this hole once it's put together. At least hopefully they won't. Okay, so there's our die. Okay, there's a little bit of low tack tape. If you use you can use a little eraser to remove any little gummy bits that may have gone across on there. There we go. And we'll stick this down. Again, just use some stamping seal on this. Because we've got a hole, we'll just make sure we've got some bits either side there. See, the red line tape is showing on that, so this might run out at any moment. So let's see how far we get. Okay, let's layer this up. There we go. That's not the straightest, but it will be fine. So some more tape's got to go on there to pop that onto the card front. Being a bit frugal with it because it might run out. But you don't need a lot anyway. That's regular seal, it's not the Seal Plus, but it is still a really good grip. Okay, so there's our first layer there, and we'll just reinforce that score line. And then this panel is actually going to go up on with dimensionals. So we'll have 6 of these. So I like to push them in from the edge a little bit so they're less visible, but they are offering support to that central section. Okay, and there's no right or wrong way up, so long as it covers up that bit in the middle, we're good. Okay, there we go. Okay, and alright, I don't even think you can see it from the side that there's a hole, which is just grand. So we've got that lovely different sort of finishes on those cardstocks, which I think is really, really nice. Okay, great way to add a little bit of luxury without a lot of fuss. Okay, so these lovely scallops will layer together nicely. This sentiment fitted in, so I don't know whether you can tell, but there's one bump at the bottom but 2 at the top. Okay, and that fitted best for this particular sentiment. So just using that sort of line of symmetry, if you like, lining up that bottom bump and that little indent at the top. That looks about right. And then we just want some tape across the back there to add this to our stylish shape. So again, I'm just going to hold on to that and line it up with some points so that it looks even. That looks about right from where I am. Ideally I want to be over the top of that, but that's just fine. It's just fine. So because we've popped up the other bits, I wasn't going to pop up the other one, but you could, okay, and give it a bit more oomph, but I don't think it needs it. And we're going to put on the butterflies that are going to be nice and dimensional as well. So doesn't that look cute? It's a really nice colour. Oh, I forgot to show you something else. I forgot to show you my little comparison against other colours as well. So this is barely blush and against Bubble Bath. So Bubble Bath's sort of a sort of brighter pink, whereas this is a bit more muted. Petal Pink's got a lot more orange in it, and Flirty Flamingo's a lot more red. So it is a completely different pink to anything else in the collection. But it's going to play nice with other colours, that's for sure. In fact, I would say it's going to go really nicely with the Cantaloupe as well. I think it will go great with the Blackberry and the Berry Burst. It's gonna be great. Gonna be great. Okay, so that's that. So now we need our butterflies. So as you can see, already stamped some before, but we need to punch some more. Okay, so we'll get some black ink and our outline image, and we want to line this up so that the punch is gonna grab those. Okay, so we'll grab some black ink, just use whatever you have. Okay, but we are going to stamp over the top of it, so something that's not going to bleed, with the water-based ink over the top. There we go. And we will bring in our Barely Blush ink. Okay, whoops. I'm still getting used to how these work. Right, so the solid stamp is what we're going to use. You want to do light tapping along the pad, get that ink nice and evenly distributed. I couldn't think of the word then. Hover over the top, get those images lined up, and once you're happy, I think that looks okay from where I am. Like I say, I'd like to get my head a bit more over the top of that really to make sure, but that looks good. Like I say, still getting used to how they feel. I'm sure once you start working with them, a bit like when I first started using Stampin' Up pads years and years ago, and we changed the style of pad. Instead of sliding it then moving it, opening it, you went to just like a compact sort of style. Okay, I'm just cutting away that corner because I can't get around that. There are lots of hints and tricks about lining up punches, but generally speaking, if you just sort of cut away a corner, you can sort of manipulate it around. So sorry, you probably can't see that very well. Just taking a bit of time just to make sure that that's lined up. It isn't really that hard. Just trying to do it so you can see. Okay. Crunch. Very good. And as always, the little latch means that they store flat. Okay, and they fit in the open storage from the Stampin' Storage, the ones that are just the open cubes. You can fit 3 of those punches in on their side, all stacked up. I like them on the side so I can just grab one, but 3 fit in there just nicely with a bit of room either side for some of the bits and bobs. And then for these guys, we'll just use just some dabs of wet glue onto the back of those, just bending up those wings a little bit so it looks like they're all a flutter. Okay, so obviously they'll flatten a little bit in an envelope or whatever, but or you could pop some little teeny bits of dimensional underneath or something like that. These are delightful, aren't they? They look pretty in this colour. I've been doing I sat and did loads of these just in front of the TV, colouring them in different ways, or you can use the stamps. So there's loads of options with this. Okay, and like I say, no collections complete without some butterflies, right? So isn't that lovely? And I think do you know, that looks really delicate, like really pretty first birthday, christening, wedding, something like that. Isn't that cute? I love the pearl paper, do you? Nice. Okay, so this is Barely Blush, one of our new in colours. The original sample was Highland Heather, and we've used scalloped blooms. That's it. I keep wanting to call it scallop wishes. That's a different one. Scallop blooms there as well. So I hope you've enjoyed that. More to come, obviously, with lots of new products. Do check out the website. Links will be in the description to that. Just click there, and obviously all the product links will be there, so you can go directly to those as well. That's it from me today. Do enjoy. I'm sure there'll be lots of new demonstrator videos out there, and if you're feeling like you want to be a demonstrator, do check out the joining offer, because you will get all 5 of the new ink pads for free if you join during May. Something to consider. Rightio, thank you very much for joining me. Stay safe, take care, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.